Mythical God grade is wild. Leave it to Rimuru. So it's time for some more TenSura. Great miss, do me a solid. Leave a like on the video, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already. And of course, Patreon, we do have the full live reactions over there. Let's jump into it, see what TenSura has in store for us this week. There were some people who are like, I don't know, still, with a straight face, I don't know why the council would fear Rimuru, ignoring the bullshit. They are going to rule the council before we get to episode 15 at this pace. Jesus! The fear of what a demon lord is capable of is completely genuine. No one should be able to judge you, Rimuru. At least he actually wants to be able to be held accountable. Which is more than you can say for his people. The people think that he should be able to do no wrong and fucking rule the world. Oh, you can double up too, yeah. Interesting. Bro's out here so impressed with his own sword only to get fucking big dicked by Rimuru's. I think they've also developed clean energy, which is, you know, impressive given how usually when we get to the Industrial Revolution, it's not the most clean of energies. I love how terrified she is of an egg hatching. Aww. What I love about this episode is how it's without a doubt a slice of life episode, a kind of de-escalation, catch your breath, here's what Rimuru and Tempest are up to. But when you actually strip back the layers, you realize, goddamn, Mariabell, she wasn't wrong about Rimuru. Yeah, maybe she was wrong about her execution of her own plans and, you know, her own greed and stuff. But at the end of the day, being scared of Rimuru was always a justified thing. The only reason the overall fandom thought of her or anyone who pushes back as scummy is because at the end of the day, Rimuru's our MC and they love him. Rimuru, the only reason the world hasn't been conquered is because Rimuru doesn't want to. The fact that his people deadass looked at him with a straight face and said, I don't want that, when presented, hey, I think we should have checks and balances of power. Not because they're worried about their own, like, oh man, are we going to be... No. It's the fact that what would happen to you, Rimuru, if you did something quote-unquote bad? Well, I would be judged. We can't have that. Remember how the concept of a demon lord joining a human council could be perceived as a threat because demon lords and his people are naturally stronger than humans, so giving them equal rights on that council, the only thing stopping him from not conquering that council is his own moral compass. Tempest is already the largest faction on the council. You can claim Mariabell is evil, you can say she had her own greed, yes, that's fine, but she wasn't wrong about Rimuru. Bro already is out here with the locomotive. Anyone who fucks around, if they can't insta-kill him, are gonna find out. He can get to point A to point P, lickety-split, and yeah, there is still threats. I've been one of the few people willing to go against the Rimuru's unstoppable train, because yeah, like, magical guns are still an issue. His people are gonna get caught up into some crossfire at some point. Yuki is actually a threat. The more he continues to gain skills, the more powerful and deranged he becomes. Do I think Rimuru himself is going to get one-shot KO'd anytime soon? God, no. But do I think some of his people might? Yeah. The only reason this little goofball has not conquered and been more ruthless is because he holds himself back. And we have seen what happens when he doesn't hold himself back, when people got killed. He went into the sky and he said Exodia obliterate. But the concept of like not wanting him on this council, the concept of wanting him to be overseen and, you know, potentially just eliminate, because, you know, reasonably, can you reason with a demon lord in this world? No, Rimuru's the anomaly if you really think about it. The only reason Milim is the way she is because Rimuru kind of tamed her. This little fucking goofball who sits in a tree and says, Tiki, look at my little Stardew Valley farm. It's crazy. Like, this is why I really like him as an MC. He's fascinating as hell. And anytime characters push back or say, hey, we want to eliminate Rimuru because of A, B, and C, I usually am like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying, oh my god, Mariabell would have been this queen who would have brought about change. No, like, she had her own selfish desires, of course. But you also have to look at, like, what characters are also saying at face value, and a lot of what they're saying makes sense. On one hand, Rimuru is untouchable. Rimuru is unstoppable. The only reason he has law and order in Tempest, holds himself accountable, is because he wants it. The idea of adding checks and balances and a hierarchy of power, delivering other people to have the same level of authority in his stead. If he straight up looked at Tempest and said, I'm going to be a dictator, I'm going to conquer the world, I am going to kill anyone who stands in my way, Would there be no pushback? Of course not. Tempest has grown at a pretty large pace. But his main council? The reactions would be, makes sense, boss. Who better to rule the world than you? Who pissed you off, boss? I'll go kill them in your stead. It's crazy. I think often a show like Slime gets undervalued as like, oh my god, there's no threats, there's no stakes, this, that, and the third. And a lot of it is because people don't think outside the box, or they watch episodes like these and they throw around my favorite buzzword, filler. When no, like this was the debriefing, we've had a lot of excitement, we got to get caught up to Tempest, see where characters like Geld and them are at. But most importantly, it's to remind you that his fucking people only will allow Rimuru to have checks and balances, or they themselves have checks and balances because Rimuru says so. Having humans be fearful of them joining up on the council made total sense before this episode. It's just even more justified now. And I can already tell what the comments will be. They'll be like, Brandon, you're overreacting. Rimuru's a good boy. He will never do any... Listen, we already know what happens when Rimuru gets pissed. All bets are off. I don't think Rimuru would ever go the route of conquering the world because he just said, fuck it, I roll. I do, however, think there could be a point where many kingdoms do get conquered because he deems it necessary. And it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. Like, these are the types of episodes that really remind you what we're dealing with. And while it does have this very colorful aesthetic, this very, tee-hee, look, everything's fun, everything's sunshine and rainbows, it really does remind you that shit's fucking serious. And I am going to be interested what old Granbell is going to be up to now that Mariabell is dead. Bro pretty much has the energy of, I'm dying, I won't be alive soon, so I might as well burn down everything I can in the process. And we have plenty of our own real-world examples of old men doing just that on their deathbed. A little concerned about who might get caught up in the crossfire there. I don't know, man. This has been a good season. We are officially 12 episodes deep. First core has concluded. And I think it's safe to say this has been the most enjoyable TenSura season to date. And it'll be interesting what the second core does. And of course, we know we got that 5 cores of this. Not 5 cores back to back. We do have 2 cores and a break, and then we come back. You know, that little split core dilemma. But you know what? Quality's been consistent. Production's been great. But honestly, the content, and now that we're properly deep into a show, a lot of stuff in the past seasons are finally coming into play now. And it's just creating a very interesting political climate. Some people, you know, who watch the show for the wrong reasons will see an episode like this, oh my god, meetings are back, and they will unironically make that joke. But to those people, I say you don't know what you're watching with Slime, because these are the types of meetings that help completely reshift Tempest and everything like that. I'm interested in the locomotive, though. The train is going to be interesting. I'm sure that'll come in clutch for a battle at some point, alongside delivering people and items. But time will tell. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below on this week's episode of TenSura. And what do you think about Rimuru's checks and balances only happening because he himself wants them? Thoughts in the comment section. Leave a like, show your support, subscribe, and ring that bell. But of course, Patreon for live reactions we live over there, and other exclusives, because I also got to give those video shoutouts too, because my patrons make it all possible over here on YouTube. Alrighty, so today we got Vitako, MMK, Anime Reaction, Torna, Carther, AJ, Plays World, Rigel Pelengi, 404 IQ Detected, LA Ray, Plato's Chicken, The Almighty Ultimus, Without a Net, Viable, Aegis, Ciarson, Kyle Asperus, The Dragon's Thorn, I'm Pogs, Ranka, and we also have Ash. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, you'll have a good one.